So I'm writing a paper on environmental issues for a class in environmental biology. The first thing I'll do is go onto Google Chrome and use the Google search engine to look for specific environmental issues. So, for example, I would search global warming today to see the current global warming problems or situations. This website here, nwf.org, it's the first one to pop up, and it seems like a credible source because it's a National Wildlife Federation organization. So I would click on it and read through it. I would look at the titles, the subheadings, to see if they're relevant to the information that I need, and then I would copy the URL address so I could note it and paste it onto the paper that I'm typing so far in Word so I could cite it later. And then I would go back to the Google page and click on the next link. And in this case, this is a web page from NASA, and there's graphs which would be useful to me because it's statistical evidence. And so far, right now, it shows how global warming and the increase of carbon dioxide over hundreds of thousands of years. And yeah, so I would read through this, and then I'll see how the sea level is rising, global temperature rising, warming of the oceans, how the ice sheets are sinking, and how the Arctic Sea is shrinking. And in my paper, I might specify on specific things like sea level rising, for instance. So I would take sea level rise, and then I'll paste in search in Google search engine, and I would like branch from that so I could have more um, more what's the word, research, more back. I'll be able to back up my point, so a lot more stronger. And when I search sea level rise, I would see another page from NASA and talking about sea level. So I would copy this URL, and I'd go back to, and I'd paste it on the Word so I could cite it later, and then I'd go to another page from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and this is a government website. So I would read through it to see if there's anything different that wasn't on the NASA website, and if there's something that I would use, I would use this URL too. When I get enough information on sea level rising, I would go back to that original, and I would like see look at the global temperature rise, and I'll do the same thing for global temperature. Um, and and usually that would be how I get the bulk of my information. And if I'm still missing something, I'd go back to the original search of global warming today and look through the links, and maybe I'll try to find, if I want some um, like outstanding information or something something different, something unexpected, I would I would go back to, and I'll change the search to like what you don't know, like what I don't know about global warming today. So I'd have something to include in my paper that might be just different from the other ones. It might surprise the teacher, so I can stand out. And there's a link here from PBS, pbs.org, and it says, well, the title is "What We Know, What We Don't Know About Global Warming." So I would read through that. Um, it has graph here about probability and the eventual global warming based on like passing 700 ppm carbon dioxide emissions. So I'll look through that, planetary risk management, and I would get curious also, and I'll see how long maybe scientists would say we'd have left. I guess if they have that as like online, and from the PBS website, I would go back to Google, and there's a website here on New Scientist, climate change, similar to the heading "What We Do and Don't Know." So I would look through that, and it also has a series of branching articles that are like have to do with the topic. And one thing here is we don't know how things would change in each region. So that would be something I personally would like to know, and how, like, what their examples would be, like how global warming might affect Japan and or Germany or Russia, and how it might affect them differently. Then I'd go back to the Google website. If I'm at a library, I would definitely look for a scholarly article. But if I'm like on a personal computer or laptop, I would search scholarly articles. Um, and again, they have some things here from NASA, and apparently this is about similar to this first NASA website, and I'll make sure I cite this as well as its author and its date and everything. So uh, I go back to Google, and yeah, and then I look at how much information that I have currently, and based on that information, I should be able to type um, a strong database paper on global warming and environmental issues. Um, yeah, and I might look for scientists. I might search scientists' opinions, like try to get a quote from a scientist at a university and what they might think, what their opinions might be, so I could have someone specifically to quote, maybe like a professor or somebody from like Britain or a university in the U.S. So, um, so yeah. So I would search. Um, let me see. I will search global warming university, maybe like global warming today, university, something like that. And the first thing that came up was the Yale project on climate change communication. So I'll click on that link. That's the first one on there. And there's a paper here. It says peer-reviewed articles. So that would definitely be good to look at because the articles that have been reviewed by like experts in the field and approved of. So I'll look through this and see if they have any information that I would be able to use. And they have percentages in here and other information. And then they have also have different articles, climate notes, and specifics in Paris and other things.